Bum 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 bum. Do 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 do. Okay, so I need the list up because I don't remember exactly which ones we were working on. Ooh, thank you for the epic unit. Okay, so we can't do those. I think it was just Dragonair, Dragonite. No. Dragonite, Pupitar, and Tyranitar were the only ones we were planning on working on. That's right, we had just gotten Tyrogue. Okay, I remember now. Big brain, got it. Okay, what box are we in? We are box 11, so we can go ahead and deposit Sea King. We don't need Sea King. That was just an HM user to get to Tyrogue. We gotta leave Chansey on the team because we're trying to get happiness points. Alright, and then I need to see what box. I think one of them's in here. Yeah. We'll take you. So how many is that? That's 5. Do I want to take Jump Bluff? Yeah, we'll take Jump Bluff. It's fine. We'll just work on one at a time, I guess. He's fine. Okay, so where are we currently at? We're at Mount Silver, which we don't need to be at right now. Oh, that's right. Actually, before we do that, let's go work on Bliss or Chansey's happiness, since it's a different day. And that is this way. Oh, I gotta pick a new song. Let's see. Let's go off. We'll do this. We'll do Golden Sun music. I like Golden Sun. Downloading the Twitch app on Chromebook worked. Hey, look at that. I didn't know they had one like that. That's pretty cool. Oh, what day is it? Okay, so they're not here on Mondays. Gross. Well, Barbant, welcome in. Welcome to chats. We're on a magical adventure of level grinding through the Elite Four. Alright, so we're gonna give you the EXP share. God, this music makes me want to play Golden Sun again. It really does. Such a good game. Oh, I guess since we're already in here, we can just go through the who's the what's the gypser. This. We can go through this. So people were wondering how I'm gonna get Porygon and Porygon 2 while we're at it. It's pretty simple. Every pass through the Elite Four gives us about 40,000 Poke Dollars. And we have a lot of level grinding to do to get Tyranitar and Dragonite. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have enough cash. It's 110,000 for one Porygon, so 220 for both. I'm pretty sure we're gonna be upwards of 300,000 plus. So by the end of it. I may randomize, honestly, the music. I think that's randomize, shuffle the music. And I'm gonna turn it into the player so I can just do that. There we go. Perfect, baby. Alright, now how many healing items do we have? We got 3 and 2. That makes 5. Moa! Coming in with the raid. How's it going, everybody? My name is AceofBade. I'm a variety Pokemon streamer. We do a lot of Pokemon content over here. Today, I mean, y'all were there. We did a badge race. And now we're working on our living decks for Pokemon Crystal. We're almost done. We just have to do some level grinding, which is kind of a downer, but we're grinding on the Elite Four, so it's fine. Something we do when we get raided, we do kitty treats. So we're gonna do that real quick. Alright, so I'm gonna play this song and I will be right back. And in case anybody's wondering, we are 200 out of 250 on the living decks. So we've got like 4 or 5 more to do, and then everything else is trading and getting in from other games. So there we go. But Yellow, Yugo, welcome in. Lucas, welcome in as well. Hopefully y'all are doing well. And Mower, I know you got to get going, so I hope you have a great day. Hopefully everything goes well. We also have 1 more minute for Stream Raiders, which we'll be jumping into momentarily. I'm going to go ahead and buy whatever items we need for the Elite Four. We got a couple of revives left. So the Pokemon we got to work on are Larvitar and Pupitar. We need to get another one into Tyranitar, and then we got to get a Dragonair into Dragonite, so it's going to take a little time. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Absolutely. And if anybody else coming in with the raid needs to step away for some water, some food, some rest, please take care of yourself first. Self-care is best care, 100%. All right, so we're going to pick up... We'll pick up 5. Yeah, this is one of the bangers. And I have some full heals, so we're good. I'll pick up 2 more revives just in case. Water? I hardly know her. Hold it. You're going... Does he just show up on Mondays? I didn't know this was a thing. Let's do this fight that I didn't know existed. I know you fight him at Mount Moon. Ice cream in chat. Yep, there is an ice cream cone in chat. Ooh, his team has stepped up a little bit. You are ice type. Yeah, that works. Had to think about it for a sec. My brain's kind of mush now. I'm coming off the high of a race, and like my mind's just it needs to slow down. Okay, so we're gonna be doing a lot of switch training just to get, because Larvitar ain't fighting. There's no way. Let's try Jump Off. I don't think you have any ice moves. That ain't gonna do anything. Honestly, did a little bit more than I thought it would, but even then. Oh, pooper scoopers. There you go. I didn't even check to see if I had it or not. I probably should have. That did way less than I thought it would. Ooh. That's gonna hurt. That might kill Jumpluff. It did not. Go to sleep. Well, we did. Jerk! I should have leech seeded. That would have been smarter. It's fine. Typhlosion has Thunder Punch. This is just an unexpected fight. I didn't know this was a thing. Daydream, also welcome, man. How are you? We are currently fighting the rival in a fight that I didn't know existed. There's Crobat. We like Crobat. Crobat is one of my favorite Pokemon. Let's go with Zaytu. Oh, goodness gracious. I think it's time for another potty break. I am rocking back and forth. Trying to learn Rock Slide. Yeah, we'll do that. Let's get rid of Bite, because even though it becomes a stab move later on, you're not really a special user. Not really. Also, I'm looking at my ring light. It looks like a fourth of it burned out. It's a completely different shade. I might be getting a new light soon. That's a thing. Let's go with Quagsire, because at least we have Earthquake. It didn't even just blink out. It's like it's still blinking. So yeah, I'm gonna need a new ring light when I move. We're gonna christen the new apartment with a new ring light. Sounds like a thing. The only downside is I don't exactly have a dark type move. So I got nothing for Alakazam. I guess we'll go with Quasar. Earthquake will decimate it. I knew it was gonna do Psychic. God, that's so much. If he crits, it kills. Yay! Gengar, which would have been good. Honestly, I forgot what the Rivals team was. It was straight up. I just straight up forgot about the rival altogether. Alright, let's do Zaytu again, I guess. That might have been a mistake. Wait a minute. Who has the, Cat Jam Jam? No, we need to go into Typhlosion so we can get double the money. Because I don't think we used Typhlosion at all. Or maybe we did and I just forgot. I don't remember. It'll go for Shadow Ball again, though. I'll tell you right now, when my DS or my 3DS does come in from the UK, I will probably be playing the third Golden Sun game at some point. Because we played the first two and we haven't played the third one. Dang, we get 10,000 just straight up. Perfect. Thank you for the epic unit. I'm going to heal up and then I'm going to take a quick potty break and then we'll take on the Elite Four for the 5th or 6th time. So, does he show up every Monday? Maybe he does. Maybe this is how you fight him. Alrighty, let's do this. I also remember I boosted up, what's his name's Psychic? Zaytu. I added a couple of extra power points to it. So we should be good. Well, good golly gosh, I wonder who's gonna win. Alright, let's go into Typhlosion and use Thunder Punch. And I'm gonna keep track of how much money I'm getting exactly, because I kind of forgot. This way I can kind of guesstimate how many times we actually need to go through. Subtracting the cost of some items here and there. I wonder if Larvitar is going to be a Pupitar before we walk out of here. What's out really now? I'm also going to have to lurk in somebody else's stream because now I'm lurking in my own stream. So when we swap out, I'm going to go look into that. Okay. There we go. And we're looking at your stream too. Cool, cool. But yeah, Mower's a great dude. I like watching the streams. He's currently playing through God of War, the new one, the Ragnarok game. I don't have a PS5, and I didn't want to get it on PS4 if it even is on PS4. I wanted to wait for when I get a PS5. I'm waiting for a couple other games as well. Like the second part of Final Fantasy VII, I'm waiting till I get a PS5 for that. There's a couple other games I can't think of right now. But I also want to make sure the price of the PS5 goes down too before I start buying it. I've got so many games, like, you know how they always talk about FOMO and stuff? I got so many games to keep me preoccupied. And I keep going back to Pokemon anyway. Excuse me. And hell, I'm still picking up games for all the retro games and stuff. I don't think I picked up any games this month yet. I was kind of waiting for Black Friday to pick up all the newer ones that I wanted to pick up. Like Kingdom Hearts, Melody of Memories, Lego Star Wars. Trying to think of other ones that are relatively new. That ain't gonna do anything. Fire Punch. Man. Oh yeah, it's actually not supposed to get any warmer today either. It's 42 degrees right now. And for those who don't speak American temperatures, because we have to be different, that is like 4 or 5 Celsius, I think. If I had to guess right. This cough needs to go away. It needs to go away now. I'm already over it. I don't know what rent it's. I don't know what bills it's paying to stick around, but it needs to go. I want to evict it. Do 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 do. Honestly, this song reminds me of when it's played on piano like this and it's really slow. It reminds me of the Destiny Islands on Kingdom Hearts, Chain of Memories. What are you doing? Why are you sprinting across the living room? Weird. Okay, so that was 8,400. Alright, we need to heal up. Who's second? It's Koga. Yeah, we definitely need Typhlosion healed up. We definitely do. How goes finding a new place to live? I actually found one. I'm waiting to hear back from him about my rental history, which shouldn't be an issue. So I should be able to move on the 2nd, provided everything works itself out. But yeah, that's That's how it's going. And I'll start packing Thanksgiving week because I have the whole week off. And that just kind of worked itself out. And I think, I'm not for sure, but I think the last stream here should be the 29th. We might do something special that day. I don't know. Maybe some kind of special giveaway or something. I don't know. I actually have some stuff I could give away. Because I already redeemed my stuff. And I just have a few extras that I picked up. There's a Musharna in chat if anybody wants to try and catch it. Do I has it? I don't. Well, we'll see if we can get it. So the album that we're listening to right now is based on the first two Golden Sun games, and there's a couple of songs from the third one in there. It's this group of people that came together and did the songs in their own way. So every song's different. Every song I think is done by somebody else. Just if anybody was wondering. I still want a fourth Golden Sun game, or for them to remake the first two and put it on the Switch. Maybe in one complete file like it was originally supposed to be. What you doing, buddy? Hey, you okay? It's okay, buddy. Let's see. We're going against Muck. So we'll do Quagsure. Nice, Vicky, you got the Musharna. Very cool. Well, that's not good. Don't poison. Yes. But I do need to do the giveaway for these because they do expire at the end of the year. So we need to give them away as quickly as possible. Yeah, those spikes are becoming a bit of a nuisance. Just a little bit. Psychic? No. That barely did anything, God. Well, don't do that. It's too bad I don't have like infinite rare candies or anything like that. I have a few, and I wanted to save them for a little later. I need to see how many I have, and I know that Dragonair and Pupitar both evolve at 55, so maybe I can even it out between the two or something. Let's see, Crobat. We'll do Typhlosion. We'll do Thunder Punch. Yeah, those spikes are not fun. Got him. How are we doing on Stream Raiders? We're doing okay. We're doing okay. Alright, 28. When does Larvitar evolve? Is it 30 or 35? If it's 30, we will definitely do that before. Okay, this was 88. Do-do-do-do. I don't think I'm gonna need to heal Larvitar. It's not like Larvitar is gonna be fighting right now. Alright, so we're going to be doing a lot of going back and forth between Zaytu, I think, but I have to get Typhlosion in there at least once. Just so I can double the money up. Can you link this playlist to me later? Yeah. I gotta find it. I had to stall for a sec. Look at that, sure. Let me see. Let's go to YouTube's. Let's go to the YouTube's real quick. Who did this? Golden Sun playlist. I forgot who did this. Wait, it was called Reignited. I have the title here. Let's see. A World Reignited. Okay. Well, there we go. Got it. View full playlist. Is this the one or is it this one? I think it's this one. I could be wrong. It is okay. So I don't know if y'all know OC Remix. They've been doing remixes from games for a long time. But yeah, it's that group. Okay, I think this is it. I'll drop this in pictures, music, and videos. Golden Sun playlist from today's stream. Okay. Alright, so yeah, Vicky, it's in the Discord. That's not all the songs either. Some of the other songs that I pulled are just straight up from YouTube. Like, they're all over the place. But that's the majority of them, I think. And that one, they're not in order. This one, they're in order from, like, when you listen to them and stuff. I mean, we're playing at random, but... I get kind of OCD with my music. Just with the organization stuff. Considering the genre, I have it organized by the decade. Because there's just too many genres out there. And there's no way for me to listen to the decade at all. So I had to improvise. Okay, so I think this one we're gonna go with Typhlosion. Oh yeah, the heat finally kicked in. There we go. Typhlosion. Let's see, let's do Fire Punch. Vicky, have you ever played Golden Sun? Has anybody in chat played Golden Sun? How about that? Alright, trying to learn Thrash, the answer is no. All three games, yeah. Golden Sun is definitely one of my favorite series. There's actually online, you can patch the game and, what is it called? I have it on here somewhere. There's a much harder version of the game because you play it so many times, obviously you know the ins and outs of it. This just made it significantly harder. I didn't even beat the second game, it was that hard. Games, it's called Golden Sun Reloaded and then Golden Sun 2 The Last Stage Reloaded. You have to Google for the patch and stuff, but I had fun with them. They brought in items that were in the game itself, in the game's file, but you never actually get to use. Like, I don't think it's called Mystic Water or anything, but there's an item in there that restores 20 power points or synergy points. I can't remember the name of the item, but things like that. That's not gonna do anything. And Psychic go. Brrr. I think it's Mountain Water. I think that's the name of the item. It's a pink-looking bottle. I think you get them every time you fight a Djinn. So, for example, this song is definitely not on that OC remix list. Who won? I did. It was pretty close, honestly. It was neck and neck. Definitely through the 4th badge, because he was just one trainer behind. Like, it was that close. But welcome back, Sky. Okay, we got 92 from that. I'm counting how much money we're getting from these trainers. Okay. Do we need to heal up at all? I think we're good. I don't want to waste the items if I don't have to. We'll probably heal up after this fight, though. Wait, I gotta do a thing. Oh, Grumps isn't there. Well, never mind then. I guess we're not gonna do that. Also, we got about 2 more minutes for Stream Raiders. Don't forget to drop in your units. Alright, yeah, I don't have anything good against this at all. We're just gonna go with Typhlosion. This will at least give me the double money. During that playthrough that we did during the race, I ended up with so many leftovers and amulet coins, it was ridiculous. Can we get the Paralysis? We did! Coming in clutch, baby! Aha! That was so close. So she's gonna heal. Oh, no, she's not. Okay, fine. Understandable. I gotta go potty again. I want to learn this song on guitar. I really do. It's such a great song. Going with Curse. Admittedly, I should have gone with Zaytu, but I didn't. It's fine. Do 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 do. Alright, we got a few more. I'm gonna do Stream Raiders after the Karen fight. That could be taken way out of context. Hilariously, I might add. 40 units. Nice. Good job, everybody. I see Daydream is just vibing out. That's the way to do it. Am return. Am AceofBade. Alright, we got Murkrow. Also, there's a Cacnea in chat if you was trying to catch it. So we went from 20 to 31, so that's not too bad. There's going to be some fights that Pupitar I think can fight, but it's going to be a minute. So here's a question, Vicky. What would you prefer, Golden Sun 4 or Golden Sun 1 and 2 remastered for the Switch? Because I have an answer for both of why I think both could happen. Or what should happen, rather. Quagsure, get in here. Yeah, I think that should happen first. Because say they do the 4th one, it won't sell well. It just won't. There's so many people that don't know the series. Because the marketing's terrible on the game, on the series as a whole. I think they should do Golden Sun 1 and 2 on one cartridge. It's not a very big thing. They should remaster it in the style of Link's Awakening for Switch. The same chibi art style that that game used. It's flawless for Golden Sun. Plus 9,400. Okay. So you get 45,800 going through the Elite Four every single time. I never heard of it until you put it. Yeah, there's just so many people that don't know it at all. Ooh, we got a new VIP. Look at that. Awesome. You gotta love it. I feel like it just means something when you get VIP doing this. Daydream Fantasies. Alright, try it on. Because it's like, it's straight up earned, you know? Vicky also, wow, okay. 2 in 1 day. Try out the badges, see what you think. This song too on guitar would be nice. Alright, I'm gonna heal up and then we will do Stream Raiders. And then we'll get back to the champion fight. I'm gonna save real quick though. I feel like that's the right way to go. Okay. If you use that thing, does your unit go? I don't know. I don't know. I'm like afraid to try it out. It scares me. I have 2 tanks, so I could try one. Let's see what your stats are. I'm not gonna throw you against Lance or anything. I'm just kind of curious. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna go into Typhlosion because we can just one-shot easily. Even if it tries Surf, it ain't gonna do anything. Welcome back, Slim. How are you? How's life? Tell me about your day. Gonna go for Surf. That would have killed Pupitar for sure.
Ace is a very sexy man.
Ah, well, thank you. I gotta go potty. Alright, after the Lance fight, I'm gonna take a quick potty break. After we save, of course. Alright, 32. So we are 23 levels away from getting a Tyranitar. And I think with the second Larvitar going into Pupitar, I think it'll only take one pass through of the Elite Four. I think. Because we should be able to get from 15 to 30 pretty quick. That's some good boss music for what we're doing right now. Would you recommend Arceus to get back into Pokemon ahead of Scarlet Violet? If you're just wanting to scratch that Pokemon bug, maybe play... I don't know. It's hard to say. Because Legends Arceus is so different from the other games. This version of the song hits different. It does. There's so many changes to this version too. And you'll hear it. It's going to change so much. I like the bass dropped as soon as Hyper Beam hit. Goodbye, JoJo! You didn't die? And you missed. You suck! We're gonna have to not put Quagsire in first against the level 50. This song does get really repetitive because it is a almost 7-minute track. I'm probably not gonna play the whole thing, but this one no, it won't have. That one was the one with Thunderbolt or Thunder. It had to have been. It just couldn't do Thunder because it's a ground type Pokemon, and it wouldn't call the switch. Okay. Twister. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, baby. Going into Dragonite, sure. Twister? I barely know her. I mean, I guess. Gonna go for Outrage, we know that. So I'm gonna switch into Jump Bluff. Hopefully we can tank one Outrage so I can heal up Quagsire. It should be able to tank one. Okay. Alright, so we're not taking 2 hits, we're just taking 1, which is great. Oh, I fucked up. I button mashed. That would have finished too, had I done it correctly. It doesn't matter, he's dead anyway. Just got some more apples. Fucking hell, the new ones are delicious. Sky is all about apples instead of corn now. It's apples! It's got the juice.
For me, I really like corn.
Nah, the meme is corn. I know. It's a joke. You go for a wing attack, you coward. Apples are just easier. What are you talking about? Easier than... for what? Because it doesn't require a spoon? I don't understand. Maybe I just will let the track run its course. We have less than 2 minutes. Corn needs microwaving. Not necessarily. You can roast it on a grill. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. We haven't done the interview. Ah! Apples can be washed and immediately eaten, though. I mean, I guess. I feel like a can of corn can be eaten very easily. You don't even have to warm it up, technically. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and close this. We don't need these. Alright, so we saved. We are good. What do you normally have with your breakfast? Do you do the eggs, bacon, sausage, or do you do the beans, tomato slices? Alright, I'm gonna save real quick. Alright, I gotta use the restroom real quick. I will be right back. When I get back, we're gonna go through the Elite Four again. And again. And again. And again. Alright, I'll be right back. Look, I don't know if y'all have ever tried Bean Boozled, but these beans are terrible. And this bean specifically, this Bean Boozled bean tastes like a skunk farted in my mouth. And it's not going away, okay? Michael Mouse. Yeah, see, look. It's Michael Mouse. See? At the fireplace, it's Michael Myers Mouse. Ah, that's funny. Oh, dear God. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Remember how we did Raikou? Nothings. There's no way that works. How'd all those monsters get on board? I could swear I locked the door when I left. Oh, Piers. You almost got us killed, you dick. Alrighty. Let's get back to it, y'all. Black pudding is blood sausage, right? It just does not sound appealing. It just doesn't. I don't know what it is. It needs a different name. I will probably never try that just because it just sounds revolting. As all hell. There's a Stunky in chat if you might want to try and catch it. Stunky! That's what we call black pudding. I see. I'm sorry, I'm just not gonna try something with blood in its name. It's just not my thing. This is also some of the boss music from the third game. I guess I should pick up a couple of hyper potions. but I'm pretty adventurous with food. I am not. Tomato and mushroom with breakfast sounds good too. I don't like tomatoes. I could probably tolerate mushrooms though. I can do them like avocado and just like put them on the fork with something else, so I don't really deal with the texture. Okay. Tomato is optional. Understandable. I mean, everything on that plate is technically optional. I love hash browns, unless they're too salty, and then I can't do them. Some people make them way too salty, and you gotta balance it out. I went to a restaurant once. It just tasted like they dumped the entire jar of salt in there, and I was like, I can't eat this. This is god awful. If I wanted that much salt, I would have just asked for the shaker, you know? Was it Denny's? I think it was a local diner. Just like a mom and pop shop. I don't remember who it was though. I think it did. I don't remember though, that's the problem. It was so long ago. It had to have been at least 15 years ago, so yeah, I'm not gonna remember. Wait a minute, I do remember. It was like 20 years ago. I remember the place now. It is a small chain, but there's only 2 of them, and they're both in Texas, so. But that was the only issue I ever had with the food. Everything else was like superb. They even opened up like a branching chain where they called it something different, but it's run by the same people. Both restaurants are solid though. Oh, pooper scoopers. Usually a Nature Valley bar and a bubbly. What's a bubbly? I like to do oatmeal or some good cereal. I'm a sucker for granola. Granola cereal sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Throw some chocolate chips in there. Dark chocolate. A lot of people prefer a smaller breakfast. It's the most important meal of the day. I mean, yeah, eating like making that the biggest meal, not necessarily a good or a bad thing. It just depends on what you're doing for that day. I think Quaker makes it. See, that sounds pretty good, honestly. Throw some almond milk in there, you're pretty solid. Alright, 35. We got 20 more levels to go. Maybe less. I gotta count how many rare candies I actually have. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Did it up. Dun. That's gonna do nothing. That was a crit, yeah. I was like, it did more than it should have. I'd probably do almond milk, granola, chocolate chips, and maybe some raisins for fruit. That's pretty solid. You could even do dehydrated fruit if you wanted to. Like, banana slices. Something like that. Would you also like tea advice? Don't microwave it. That's my advice. Just need some protein in the morning. Solid. I do oatmeal with blueberries and flaxseed in the bowl. And then I do some almonds, which I didn't do this morning. I mean, it's sitting right here. I can honestly eat some while we're talking. Almond milk, just a glass of almond milk, and then I'll have a protein shake as well. So the protein shake is my protein. Okay. Let's do this, Koga. So the first thing you do is throw your microwave out the window. I don't even own a microwave. I get one at the next place, so that's kind of cool, but I don't get a washer dryer, and I'm sad about that. I would gladly trade the microwave for a washer dryer. Am I gonna use the microwave? Probably not. I do everything with the steamer and the stove and the oven. Like, I don't really need a microwave. Ariados, let's do Typhlosion. You still need some levels, dude. I think the cat's bobbing to the beat. Gotta love it. I guess I could name the songs like what they're from. So this is from Jupiter Lighthouse. It's the first lighthouse you go to in the second game. But it's like, you hit the lighthouses super late. Compared to the first game. Like, you hit the first lighthouse pretty early on. Alright, we're doing spikes, I know that. You always do spikes. Yeah, the music is from Golden Sun. Alright, get a mug, put your tea bag in, put as much sugar as you want in. Put the water in, then let it infuse however long you want. I'm a psychopath and go for 10 minutes. But you're supposed to, like, do that with it, right? Or do you just leave it? Like, what is letting it steep do? You know, I don't know what that actually is. I'll be honest, I don't. I bought some tea for when I was sick, and I still haven't drinking it yet. Bum 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 bum. God, minimize went fast. I missed. About 5 minutes, I don't add sugar. I feel like you only really need to add sugar if you're doing sweet tea, like Texas sweet tea. And then you're doing a lot of sugar. This may be a problem. Okay. I was about to get concerned for a second. I don't have any moves that don't miss, so I didn't really know what I was going to do on that one. I feel like it depends on the tea, obviously, but a lemon wedge is probably not a bad shout for the majority of tea. Not all of it, but the majority. You then take the tea bag out. Make sure you stir it before and after the infusing stages. You put milk in, stir it, then sit down, put your feet up, and drink the cup of tea. What kind of milk specifically are we talking? Can you do almond milk for that? Or is it something you gotta do whole or 2% for? I know not non-fat. Non-fat is basically water pretending it's milk. Haven't heard until yesterday. That's the infusing stage. Well, so do you just leave it there? Or do you like bob it up and down? I guess that's my my question. You can go for whatever milk you want. I feel like non-fat milk is just the psychopath's route. Non-fat milk should not exist. It just shouldn't. Change my mind. Now, devil's advocate, I used to drink non-fat milk growing up. We got it from Brahms. It had extra sugar in it. I should have gone for Thunder Punch to begin with, and I screwed up, but that's okay. I button mashed my way through that. Hopefully this hits, because he did evasion. Okay, we're good. Damn double team. We'll probably drain the tea bag before you take it out. I don't know where the 2 goes. I'll be honest, guy. I have no idea where that goes. Okay, so one Pokemon's poisoned. I don't know if I need to heal anything else up. This is when you this is when you're on the boat. The music. I'm on a boat, motherfucker, don't you ever forget. That bit will probably be to drain the tea bag before you take it out, assumably. Okay, I gotcha. Honestly, the way they orchestrated the instruments for this one, it sounds like it's from Hook. Or a Disney film. A live-action Disney film. The milk part, I haven't tried. I haven't tried putting milk in tea either, now that I think about it. I don't know why I haven't. I just haven't. How are we doing on Stream Raiders? We're doing pretty good on Stream Raiders. I like it. I vibe with it. We got 42 units in there so far, and we got about a little less than 6 minutes. Let's go ahead and do Typhlosion now. Oh, God. You went for dig this time. I don't like that. Plus side, it didn't do anything. I should go back to Golden Sun too. I agree. Solid game. Alright, so in Golden Sun, you go to 4 different, like, element-specific rocks. And this is the 4th one. This is Magma Rock. Thought I heard a siren for a second. There's been a lot of sirens over here lately. I don't know what's going on. Hey, but it's a good thing I'm moving. This is also a really good place to level grind because you fight a bunch of Phoenix enemies, and they give a lot of experience. Earthquake. It's not the best place to level up, but at that point in the game, it is. Alright, I just gotta remember when we finish this pass through the Elite Four, I need to check how many rare candies I got. And I'll divvy them up between this Pupitar and one of the Dragonair. Also, there's a Kingler and Shadowfim. Let's try and catch it. Hitmonlee will go with Z2. Z2. Z3. Z4. I wish High Jump Kick missed, but whatever. Haha. It does 1 damage back, and I think that's hilarious. I forgot which one does half the health back. That's one of them. Or maybe not half, but significantly more damage. I always thought Hitmonlee was like a high risk, high reward type of Pokemon. Because its moves always had kind of lower accuracy than everybody else. especially Hitmonchan. I found a guy that did a bunch of rock covers from Zelda songs. A really cool Dragon Root. Is it Family Jewels, out of curiosity? It's not. Okay. Hey, if you want to drop something, one of the tracks in music in Discord, that'd be cool, and I can check it out. Because I could always add to the Zelda collection that I got. I did drop this playlist, well, at least some of this playlist. I dropped it in YouTube, in the music channel. Yes, Moopa? The heck Pokemon game? Oh, it didn't let y'all catch. I'm sorry. I'm hungry. I'm AceofBade. I also need to eat, I think. I could use some food. I don't know what I want, though. I did not have dinner last night, either. I just wasn't really feeling it. Currently eating and still hungry. It do be like that sometimes. What are you eating, Moopa? Let's heal up Typhlosion. PB&J. Well, there's your problem. That's not a meal. It's something just to tide you over. It's like a borderline snack on its way to being a meal, but it's not quite a meal. It's all I can afford. Moopa, go live. And thank you for the epic unit. We can start a hype train on Moopa's channel so you can afford food. Thank you for the epic unit. This song it's one of the little islands that you visit for a side quest that you have to do. Alright, we'll do Stream Raiders after this Karen fight. Guys, just go to my boss and tell him to give me a raise. Well, that involves going down to Florida, and I don't want to do that. I got too much stuff going on here. But you could tell your boss I said to give you a raise. How about that? Yes. Plus side, we will definitely have enough to get 2 Porygon. That's great. And then one will be traded and evolved and traded back. It's great. It's great how that works. Dear Moopa boss, don't you know she always brings the buns to the yard? Yeah.
Moopa moo!
There it goes. Somebody did that earlier. It didn't work. I don't know why. She ain't wrong. I mean, I guess. Alright, Murkrow. We're gonna go with Typhlosion and Thunder Punch the crap out of that bird. I like how they incorporated flutes in the song. That's great. This is basically just straight up an orchestra playing the song. Alright, so we're gonna have to deal with Crunch, I'm pretty sure. Maybe a flamethrower. No, that wouldn't make sense. You would go for Crunch. Yeah. Might go to Whole Foods. Do it. Special defense fell. Doesn't matter. Indeed. I'm gonna have some almonds. Since I didn't have them for breakfast. Trying to learn Scary Face. What do we got? Let's get rid of Lear. Dude, there was some really good vegan gummies at Whole Foods. How do you get vegan gummies? What is in like gummy bears, like before we even consider making them vegan? Isn't it just tree sap? I don't know, but they're tasty. That's right, it's a certain kind of bug, and I forget. No. Bugs are in Fig Newtons. Yeah, I think it's a bone marrow. There might be gluten, I don't know. The food coloring. Ah, okay. I don't think it's really all that gross. There's worse things that humans eat. If we're being perfectly honest. So this song is from the third game. There's actually another lighthouse in the game. Definitely gelatin, yeah. Is Evoy. Tartan Evie, how's it going? Hopefully you're doing well. Aha, it bugs you more. Got it. No, you did not. You heard a Evoy. Hey man, just lurking. Good luck. Well, thank you. I'm sure you do, Moopa. But you're wrong. I love gummy bears and whatnot anyways. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Who cares if they got stuff in them? I love Fig Newtons even though they got bugs in them. It's fine. It is totally fine. Oh, I bet Tartan Evie thinks this is my first pass through for the Elite Four, but it's not. We're just level grinding Pupitar to be a Tyranitar. I like the vegan gummies because they don't get stuck to your teeth. Oh, okay. I didn't know that was a thing. I probably should not be throwing Quagsire in here. But I'm gonna do it anyway. This is like the first town you visit in the second game. Madra. No, this isn't the first one. It's the first big one. Swagzire is an absolute beast. And Gen 2, absolutely, 100%. And Gen 4, not as much. This is where you pick up peers in the last stage. Ice punch. That's all you're gonna do. Not hyper beam or anything. Okay. I'm probably gonna have to heal. Oh, now you go for hyper beam, you jerk. This kind of has an 80s vibe to it, you know, especially after hearing like the Stranger Things theme song and stuff. That synthesizer that they use. Alright, we're gonna have to heal up Quagsire. So I'm gonna throw Jump Left in. That's what we're gonna do. I forgot you have Blizzard. That could have been bad. I ran out of potions. I did an oopsie and forgot to buy more. It's fine. We have enough money where it doesn't matter anymore. So I had a competitive Swagzire and Heart Gold Soul Silver, unaware for its ability, Earthquake, Scald, Recover, and Stockpile. Jesus. That's hardcore. It was so hard for anyone to deal with. Yeah, I can imagine. Twisted Sister, man. We're not gonna make it. No, we ain't gonna fake it. We're not gonna take it anymore. There's a tiny mo in chat if anybody wants to try and catch it. And this is one of the last boss fights you get in the first game. Alright, coming in for Outrage. Here we go. If you're not the right level in this game, you will get swept by these two. Don't crit. I don't think that's enough to finish it off either. Freeze? Gonna chance it. Oh, thank God I didn't heal. Nice, guy. Your first time doing through the second Golden Sun game. Damn. Did you use the code from the first game to get the full roster, or did you go bare bones? I went bare bones the first time. I didn't have a link cable, and I didn't know how to do the code. But I was also like in middle school, so I had no idea. Let's just do that. We don't need Quagsire. We got Thunder Punch. I made some mistakes this time through. It's fine. What does Charizard have, and can I just throttle him with Pupitar? Maybe. Yes, I can. No, I can't. That's a totally good... Oh, I know. Absolutely, it is. Once I actually learned how to do it proper, I did. Don't burn. Heck yeah. Ooh, woo. Moopa, you heard it that time, right? Mastiff coming in with the reset of 26 months, dude. How's it going, dude? PUBG. Oh yeah, because they had a Dead by Daylight version of PUBG or something, right? That's what it was. Alright, let me get through the Elite Four portion so we can save, and then we're going to open up a booster pack. So speaking of, when are those booster packs supposed to come in? I ordered some. I don't know when they're supposed to come in, though. When did I order them? Booster? I hardly know her. Haha. Got him. Oh, the 20th through the 22nd. Okay. Downer. They'll be sometime next week. Going good, just chilling, about to check out the room, or check out of the room soon, and then chill until the flight home. Oh yeah, because you're out of town. You're in Vegas, right? Did you make some money? You rich now? He's rich. Absolutely. Alright, let's go over here. Haha, yeah. And no, Tiny. I think he made some money. He just didn't want to tell us. And that's totally fine. I'm not gonna force him to tell us. Not my place. Okay, we got that. And here's the Satros battle theme. This is one of my favorite ones. Okay. Okay. Alright, we're gonna play Guess the Energy. All you have to do is guess what energy you think is in this booster pack that I am having trouble opening. And if you get it right, awesome! And if you don't, I mean, there's always better luck next time. I did hit the slots last night before hitting the hay. You're hitting everything, aren't you? Okay. Alright, so we got Psychic and Electric. I'm gonna guess Steel. I haven't seen Steel yet, so I'm gonna guess Steel. I don't know if that's an option, but I'm gonna try it anyway. Alright, any other guesses before I flip it over? My dad called. I'm gonna have to call him back after stream. Alright, here we go. It is fire. Alright, so we have 2 energy. We have a gift energy. So that's how they do the colorless energy now. Alright, so we got a Machoke looking majestic as fuck. Alright, we got Fantina. We got Spinarak, which I think I have, but I can take a look and see. I know we have Paris. Okay, we got Inkay. I don't think I have Inkay yet. We got Basculin. I'm sorry. Wait, does that say Hisuian? That says Hisuian Basculin. I didn't know there was a difference, but alright. We already got Phantump, I know that. Alright, so the reverse is Luminian. We don't have the reverse, so that's pretty cool. And Raichu, which I don't remember if we have or not. We can check. Okay, so these are going over here. Let's see if there's a good way to do this. Okay, Pikachu. We do have Raichu, and we already have the reverse holo, so yeah, we don't need this one. So we're keeping Luminian for sure, Basculin, we're gonna keep, let's look at Spinarak, because I'm pretty sure we have one. Okay, so it comes down to these 2. I don't know which one we should keep personally. I'm leaning towards this one, to be honest. Okay, I gotta get everything together. Have a fun stream, and I'll catch you next time. Alright, Massive, bye! I think we're gonna keep this one. I like that one a little bit better. Okay. So I'm gonna put those aside for now. I will sleeve them up probably during Stream Raiders match, which we will be doing in about 12 minutes, I think. 13 minutes. A little less than 13 minutes. Alright, cool. And yes, we got about, 12-ish minutes for stream raiders. Don't forget to drop in your units. Also, if you don't know what this one is, this is when you're selecting a save file to play. They went hard on this. Alrighty, let's get back to it. Alright, we just beat the Elite Four for the umpteenth time. How much money we got right now? 153. We're doing pretty good on cash. God, I wish it was an easier way. I gotta check on the happiness. We gotta go check it out. I'm very curious. I might buy some vitamins too if we have enough cash left over. I forgot we have soft boiled on Chansey. We can heal anybody. It's friendly towards you. It looks sort of happy. That is the 100 to 149 range, I think. Pokemon Crystal Happiness. We think of the Epic unit. Yeah, 150 to 199. So I'm not sure 100% where it is, but once it gets to I get the feeling it really trusts you. We're on the home stretch. So that'll be good. Alright, let's go back over to Kanto. That's not where I mean to go. I went too far up. Yes, please. Alrighty. Okay, so when I get up to, where's Pupitar? There you are. When we get up to the Elite Four, I'm gonna check and see how many rare candies I have. And that'll determine what level we need to get to for Pupitar. Because we don't have to go all the way. Alright, go over. Thank you. You done did it, kid. This is a cave, I know that. We're gonna deposit this rare candy. Okay, so total we have 7. So we can get to 51, 52. I say we get to 52 for this, and then we'll get to 51 for Dragonair. I think that's the best way to do it. I better buy some items. I'm gonna be in trouble if I don't. So we'll buy 12. How many revives do we have? We got 8. Okay. Go. Should be good to go. So yeah, I think Pupitar can start fighting some of the fights. Like against the Zaytu here, I'm pretty sure we can do that. Why is that open? No. Hopefully Psychic doesn't do a whole hell of a lot. It did about half. That's not good. That is, though. I like that. We'd like to see that. Perfect. Definitely not staying in. Now we'll go with I'm about to say Tyranitar. We're gonna go with Typhlosion. What I'm probably gonna do for Chansey is after we get Dragonite, I'm gonna keep resetting the game, and we're gonna keep doing the haircutting thing. That's the plan, anyway. I don't know if Pupitar can fight the other Zaytu or not. Because that basically did half, and the other one's stronger, so probably won't be able to. Thunder Punch, baby! Okay, so we got a Zaytu, yeah. I think Psychic would kill, so I don't think it's worth testing. Not right now. So yeah, we'll go into Typhlosion. And this is Venus Lighthouse. One of the Venus Lighthouse tracks I got on here. I got two. Both of them are different. One of them is more vibey, one of them's a little bit more hardcore. Let's see if we can guess which one this is. There's a Haunter and Shadow Female. Let's try and catch it. I think I have the whole Ghastly line. I don't remember though. I could check. Oh, I have to type it again. I don't know what moves Ariados has. If it has any grass moves, I'm in trouble. But I think I can take it out with Pupitar. With Rock Slide. You can give it a shot. I forgot their health, like healing and stuff, used to just take forever. They changed it, like, starting in Platinum, or Heart Gold, Soul Silver, I forgot which. Because healing Chansey took so damn long. Ooh, nice, Vicky, you got it. Very cool. Let's give it a shot. Ooh, we are faster. I do like that. Okay. Why is somebody calling right now? Oh, that's right. So I sent a thing on Angie's list for a bunch of different moving companies. And I just went with the first one that got back to me that seemed reasonable enough. Well, they keep calling, so. Alright, Fire Punch. Obliterate. And we got a little less than 3 minutes for Stream Raiders. Don't forget to drop in your units. Alright, Pupitar, we don't have anything for that, because we don't have Earthquake. I don't even know if this line can learn Earthquake from level up, or if it has to be through TM. What don't remember? Let's go as A2. Oh, my back popped. Hit it! Yay! What's up, baby girl? What's up? Put those over there. Alright, Crobat. Ooh, we can fight Crobat. This is Gaia Rock, if I remember right. Yep. Another one of the rocks, the element rocks that you have to go to. I never really did care for the music in that one, but that's just me. Got him. I didn't think it would be enough. Just need one more. Come on. You can do it. Oh, you butt. We're just gonna swap out. I can't risk it. We'll do Zaytu, because Spikes is still active. I don't want to have to deal with it. Got him. Alright, one more minute. Another orchestrated feel to it, and it sounds more like a play, you know? Oh, Venomoth. I was like, who? What's up? We'll go Typhlosion. You okay, baby girl? That did do a thing. Honestly, this track reminds me of Ni no Kuni. Alright, I'm gonna heal up. We'll do Stream Raiders, and then, you know, we'll come back and we'll do some more. Some more of these. Alright, heal. Definitely you. Because we're going against Bruno next. Yeah, people don't get to fight that one. We'll do a full heal. Especially when you get into later gens like Gen 6. This track, I think, is when both parties come together. After you beat Jupiter Lighthouse. I think that's what this is. Alright, everybody's healed up, so let's go. Okay. Ooh, we're about to level up. Yay! I like that. We'll go Quagsire. I think that's the way to go. Thank you for the epic unit. I don't know why I went. Now that I think about it, I thought this was Onyx. I made an oopsie. Freaking cat. If she lands on my PC and shuts it off, if stream ends for whatever reason, that's probably what happened. Just a heads up. Let's go with Typhlosion so we get the extra money. Nixie Sabotage. This is all yours. This is sabotage. Ah, so close. We're confuzzled. Might as well take advantage of that extra attack. Or not. Well, Pagarino, baby. That one's Onyx. Yeah, now I hear it. This is definitely when both parties come together. Do, 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 do. Nope. Alright, fine. I'll give you that one. I feel like within the next hour we'll have a Tyranitar. I don't know how long exactly it'll take, but I feel like within that amount of time. By 1 o'clock we should have a Tyranitar. We only need to get to level 52 and then we can just use rare candies for the other 3 levels. So we have 10 levels to go. You're gonna go Ice Punch. I know you are. Oh, went Mach Punch. Yeah, makes sense. Because it is a rock type. Or it was a rock type. So we'll at least have one of the pseudos done today. I doubt we'll have the other one done, but we can at least get the Tyranitar line done. We can get a Pupitar after this. Pupitar won't take long at all. It'll take maybe 1 pass through of the Elite Four and Daseat. Super easy, barely an inconvenience. This is, I never really figured out how to pronounce the name. It's the Lycanthrope town. The werewolves. I think it's Garo. I don't know. Garoh. That's how you spell it. I'll say Garo, just because there's more vowels than anything else. It's a very sad song. Alright, Curran, let's do this. I'm not yawning, you're yawning. Alright, Typhlosion, get in here and do stuff. Make stuff happen. Do things. That made me yawn. I covered up. I did my best. I don't know what you want from me. It's a Gengar. Alright, so yeah, we will definitely go Zaytu from now on. I wasn't even looking at the screen. You just mentioning yawning did the trick. My bad. Bruh. There's also a Grimer in chat if anybody wants to try and catch it. Speaking of yawn, is it a Gen 2 or a Gen 3 move? I know it That is pretty prevalent in Gen 3, but I don't remember if it was Gen 2 or not. Now that I think about it. I think it is in Gen... I think it came out in Gen 2. I'm just trying to... I don't remember if I remember seeing it or not. And this is Tolby. This is where you can gamble and stuff. Oh, it is Gen 3. Okay. Wait, I don't need to swap. We're already here. Tiny, this reminded you of Chef? It always reminds me of that. I forgot the name of the song, but it's when they're driving down the road and the sexual energy feeling song was on when they were vibing out to it. It's the same kind of horns that they're using. Not to mention, just when they were in Louisiana and then Austin, just all the instruments that were going off. Alright, Quagsure. Mostly because I don't think Pupitar can tank like multiple crunches. I just don't see it happening. Alright, we get to fight the champion for the upteenth time. You'd think I'd be a little more conservative with my my hyper potions. Nah, just breeze right through them. Hey, it's Goku and Vegeta. Alright, how many more levels we got? 9. We got 9 more to go. I'm not leaving you in. That's dangerous. Do 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 do. Maybe I could leave you in for Aerodactyl. And maybe the first Dragonite. Maybe. It might be a little risky, I don't know. It can't hurt. But I feel like a couple of Rock Slides will knock this out. But then again, how many more Rock Slides do I have? 4. That's gonna do nothing. So close. And I don't have anything else that would take it out. Damn. Do. Alright, Pupitar is at least able to do stuff now. Ooh, that's the one with Blizzard. That's the one I don't want to be fighting. Imagine if this took it out, though. I was gambling on it not being that one. Errors have been made. At least we know one Ice Punch will knock this out. Ah, you butt. Do 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 do. You know what? I'm gonna use this time to heal. I think that's the way to go. Thank you for the epic unit. I thought I was gonna go for Blizzard again. The way the woodwind instruments work in this song, it kind of reminds me of Traverse Town in Kingdom Hearts. But this is also Venus Lighthouse. You're the one with... No, you're not the one with the outrage. This one I think we can fight. Maybe not. I forgot we only have one left anyway. Yeah, at least it'll be an easy swap. Taking too many chances. Yeah. That's a damn shame, because I could have actually thrown him against Charizard. Ooh, think of the epic unit. Ooh! Alright, Outrage is gonna hit like a freight train. I say we swap into Jump Left, let Jump Left take the hit, heal up Quagsire. And Jump Left can eat the hit, yeah. How did I breeze through 9 Hyper Potions? Why do you not know? Hit yourself. So close. Gonna heal up. If Dragonite had hit itself, we would have been fine. So now it's gonna go for it's gonna go for Outrage again. Actually, doesn't matter. We got that high roll. So we're solid on health, which is great. I think we went up like 3 or 4 levels during this entire thing anyway. So we're doing pretty good. Easy. GG. Do 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 do. All right, 45. We're making stuff happen. We're making magic happen, y'all. All right, so we have how many more levels? 7? I think we got 7 more levels to go. And this is the overworld song for the 3rd game. The reason it kind of started abruptly is because somebody had covered all 3 of the overworld songs. And the 2nd and 3rd one just happened like that. So I had to fade out the 2nd one, and I didn't really know what to do with this one, so I was like, it's fine. Alright, we beat the Elite Four for the upteenth time. Hello, hello. Martin Star, welcome in. How are you? We are doing well. We did our competition against Mower of the Lawn earlier, and now we're continuing our Living Dex challenge. We're trying to get a Tyranitar today, which I'm pretty sure will happen. It's just a little time consuming is all. But hopefully you're doing well. All good now, work's finished, and I've got food. Nice! Hey, it might be time for me to get some food going. So we're vibing out to the Golden Sun soundtrack, if you're wondering. Yeah, did you bring enough to share? Did you beat Mr. of the Lawn? It's quite possible. It is quite possible that I won. It's also quite possible that he won. But I will have the VOD on the VOD's channel at some point, so you can check that out. Spag bowl using Halloween pasta shapes. Oh, spaghetti bowl. Nice. Okay, we're good on revives. I think we're good. Let's go. Okay, so we did have a problem eating Psychic, but it sounds delicious and adorable. Sounds delicious and nutritious. Not old-tricious, nutritious. Moopa, are you still here? I forgot to tell Massive, but oh well. It's fine. I'm gonna guess Moopa's busy. Alrighty, we're going with Typhlosion so we can get the extra cash. This is Aqua Rock, if I remember. Alright, you're doing extra defense, sure. That means Rock Slide's not gonna do anything. I never noticed the bubbles popping until just now. Probably because you have to have headphones on to hear it. It's just so subtle. That's cool. That's a great touch. I like that. Got a feeling you're gonna go for water move. But you might go for psychic. And Sky, thank you for the work. Or not. What's the point of Curse on Slowbro? What move does it use that uses its attack stat? I don't think it's worth, so let's just swap out. I went for Confuse Ray anyway. Lame. There's a Tentacruel in chat if anybody wants to try and catch it. Figure you're gonna go for Ice Punch, but you might go for Psychic. I don't know. At bare minimum, we're gonna have at least 2 Pokemon to knock off the Dex today. Maybe 3. Maybe 4 if we're able to hustle. I say we heal you up. You're the only one that took damage this time. Actual damage, which is crazy. Do 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 do. Oh, we also did open up a booster pack, and I had to draw something because the Wheel of Punishment said to, so I did. I drew a Rotom Mower. I don't think it turned out great, but it is what it is. Those are also the things that you missed, March Star. Okay, so we'll be at 46 after this. Any good pulls? I got a reverse Luminion, and that was it. Stop it. It's still good. It's still good. It is. I'm adding 4 Pokemon to the binder basically for the living decks, so at least there's that. But now these packs so far haven't been super great. This is Emil, I think. Yeah. This is right before you get to the first lighthouse in the game. But it's a song that plays after you beat the lighthouse. I think maybe we could fight Venomoth, maybe? I'm gonna try it. It missed Toxic, good. And we did hit Rock Slide, great. Good. Perfect. Gotta love it, baby. And Crobat, I think we'll fight also. Wing attack thing or nothing. It crit, yeah. I was like, that's a lot of damage. Okay, can we hit? We can. Do we kill? Dude, that is so unfair. I should have done Sandstorm first. Sandstorm would have finished it off. I didn't mean to do Screech, but alright, sure. I guess we're doing Screech. Easy GG, baby! Okay, I don't have that many Rock Slides left. I think I got 3 left. Unfortunately, the items that I usually use for it are in the PC, so... Oopsie. Alright, so we'll heal up you. You're the only one that took damage again. Solid! Alright, so what is next on the list? This is when you get to, don't tell me. Shoot, what's the name of that town? Oh, that's gonna bug me. It's right before Kalima. Who are we gonna list? Hitmontop? Okay. We'll go with A2, because he's gonna dig anyway. Shoot, what is the name of this place? I have the picture in my head. Ooh, thank you for the epic unit. You get the first Jupiter Gin there. There's a tree sitting outside that's a person. I know it's not Goma. Oh, that's bugging the hell out of me. It doesn't even say it in there. Damn. All right, we got a few more seconds. I'm gonna finish up. Well, no. We'll just go straight into Stream Raiders. Mid battle, it'll be fine. As soon as I see the name of the town, I'm going like, oh, damn it! I knew it. I knew it. Back to this. We're gonna send out Typhlosion. I need some more water. Why I did Thunder Punch instead of Fire Punch, I do not know. It doesn't matter, I got a crit. Machamp before Hitmonchan, interesting. Cross chop? I don't think so. Ooh, thank you for the epic unit. And this is Mercury Lighthouse. This will be the first lighthouse you go to. Crunch. Okay, good. I'll take Crunch. Thank you for the epic unit. We do have Screech. Do we need this too? Thank you for the epic unit. Lots of epic units. Yeah, we'll go Crunch. That's fine. We'll get rid of Scary Face. Its special stat is probably garbage, but be alright. It's gonna go for Mach Punch. We know that. At least it did last time. It might go Ice Punch, but I think it'll go Mach Punch. Yeah. Does A2 level up? So close. He always asks, how could he lose? Because I fought you like 500 times, dude. And we're not even done. Okay, I'm gonna save real quick. That's about what I thought it was. Okay. Let's get back to it. Alright, Karen. I got you. Alright, so as per usual, we send out Typhlosion to deal with Umbreon. 8, 9, 1, 2, 5 more levels? think we're doing 5 more levels, and then we're good. Go Fire Punch. We miss. Sad. Fire Punch, we hit. Do we miss this one, or did we hit? I think we hit. We hit. Gengar. Honestly, I think Zaytu is the best bet for Gengar. Because Quagsire is just too slow to deal with it. Although we do have... What's your defense at? Just out of curiosity. 79, 83 on special attack. We might be able to tank that Shadow Ball. I went Curse. Well, maybe it worked itself out. Maybe we do half. We do. Downside, we take damage now. Oh, no we don't. We're good. Alright, so we'll go into Typhlosion. It's going to go into Petal Dance. Yep. Do 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 do. Wait a minute. This is the song that plays once you get both parties together. This is like the new overworld theme. The one from before wasn't. I thought it was a boat song. But I can't remember which one. I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember all the songs. I do my best though. How many? We have 4 left. We're gonna save them, so I'm gonna swap out. Should be able to kill Aerodactyl pretty easily. And maybe a Dragonite. And of course the Houndoom. Ugh. Come on, stop. Thank you. Honestly, Crunch makes sense, at least back then, because dark moves were special, like all of them. And it drops, that Crunch drops the special defense, or it can. Shadow Ball, back before Gen 4, ghost moves were physical. And Shadow Ball drops the special defense as well, so that one makes no sense. And I think it's hilarious. We definitely need you healed up. Alright, what's next on the list? Smooth sailing, so it's a boat. Okay, so this is the boat that you get from crap, what's the town? Before you get to Tolby. And thank you for the epic unit. I heard the thing, but it didn't show up in chat for some reason. Man, getting a Typhlosion takes a while. Or Tyranitar takes a while. Sorry. Getting a Tyranitar takes a while. I knew it was gonna be a minute, and same's gonna be for Dragonite. Maybe a little bit longer, but damn. Alright, 48. So we got 4 more levels. Okay. I think 1 more pass through should do it. I hope. Alright, so if I do Screech and then Rock Slide, we should be good. That's not gonna do anything. Haha! That should kill though. Alright, so he tends to send out the one with Blizzard first now. At least he did last time, and I have a feeling he's gonna do that again. So I say we call the bluff and go to Quagsire. It was Blizzard, called it. And he hit 2 Blizzard in a row. I don't like that. Does my Ice Punch kill? It does. Okay, good. We like that. We take those. Ow, my face hurts. What don't like that? Let's go Screech. Hyper Beam shouldn't kill. Oh, we missed. Okay, good. But now we heal. Yeah, let's see if Rock Slide will kill. Haha. I was like, please don't flinch. I don't like that Twister can flinch. Yes. All right, cool. Now this other one has Outrage, so we're gonna have to swap out. Okay, so Outrage will kill Quagsire, so we'll switch in here first. And then we'll heal. I cough, man. I don't like it. Hit yourself? Yes, okay. So Ice Punch should kill now. Should. Okay. And then Pupitar can take care of Charizard. Charizard! I mean, we got 1,600 experience, I think is what I saw. From that Dragonite, just for, Pupitar. That ain't bad. Gonna go for Flamethrower. Should not kill. That hurts, though, because that cuts the damage in half. So this won't kill, I don't think. Oh, it doesn't matter. We're good. Wow, okay. Easy GG, baby. I'm gonna guess one more pass through of the Elite Four and we'll be ready. Would be my guess. So one more. And then we'll have a Tyranitar. Yay! It only took, what? 2.5 hours? This is at the end of the first game. This is against Doom Dragon. Or Fusion Dragon, sorry. Doom Dragon's the bigger one. I don't like this one as much. It's just too chaotic. But that's the point. It was supposed to be chaotic. Because how the hell are you supposed to know you're gonna go against a giant dragon at the end? It's chaos. Alright. I guess we'll just go this way. Okay, so how much money do we have right now? Oh yeah, we could buy both of them, both of the Porygons right now, which is fantastic. So tomorrow we're gonna finish up the game. I'm relatively sure we can. I mean, the first hour or two is gonna be spent getting a Dragonite, but after that, it's gonna be pretty quick. The only other one that we have to worry about is Chansey going into Blissey, and that's it. Alright, we got 3 more levels, so we can do this. I have an idea. We're gonna withdraw some ethers if I have them. Oh, I didn't know I had these. Well, we're giving these to Chansey now. I'm gonna take that too. What else we got in here? There's a Yamask and Shadowfell. Let's try and catch it. Cool. We don't need this. Okay. This is in the 3rd game. This is at one of the ruins. That should help a little bit. On Rock Slide. There we go. Stats. Plus 12. That'll help a lot. Alright, now how many potions... Hold on. How many do we have? How many am I breezing through every single time? 6. Okay. Sure, we'll do that. Cool. Here we go. After this, we get a... After this pass through, we get a Tyranitar. Oh, sorry, Lucas. PCG do be kind of picky lately. It's rude, is what it is. We also have about 7 more minutes for Stream Raiders. Don't forget to drop in your units. Admittedly, I didn't even try. I feel like I have it, but I don't really know. Yeah, I good. We stay in long enough to swap out. Typhlosion, kick his butt. Psychic. do, 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 do. This is just straight up the overworld music for the first game. It's kind of nostalgic for me. Arson. Pandemonium. What are we doing? King of the Bandits welcoming. House stream. Stream's going good. We almost have a Typhlosion. That is gonna cause some problems. Water. I do need some water. It did get away. Do. How's work going, JP? Let me finish this fight and I'll go get a bottle of water real quick. It's brutal. Work do be like that. I have to work 3.5 days this week. I'm taking a half day on Saturday so I can go to the Friendsgiving thing. I'm so done with this week. Well, at least the Friendsgiving thing is, you know, something to look forward to. Have vacation coming up. Yeah. I'm off all next week. So I'm working 3.5 days this week and then I'm on vacation. That's how you do it, baby. Somehow I got really lucky this year and I only have to work Christmas Eve out of all the holidays that are coming up. Got it. So I only had 1 day off in the past 2 weeks. That's brutal. And I'm guessing that was Sunday. I would guess. I don't really know. Yeah. Yeah, overtime's a bitch. It is. I understand that. I did that for a while and I hated it. But it paid off my car. I needed it. Thank you for the epic unit. I'm guessing you're at lunch now. Paycheck should be nice. Oh yeah, it'll help for sure. Making food. What you having? My food's cooking as well. I forgot what time I started it though. I mean, it's fine. I'm about to go get some water anyway. All right, this is the last song coming up. This is Air Rock. Chicken, steamed veggies, and rice. I'm basically doing the same thing. I got sweet potato and broccoli, as well as chicken and... No, I'm doing ground turkey, sorry. My meat's ground turkey, not chicken. Went to the gyms 5 days this past week. Nice, very cool. I work out 4 days a week, you know, at my gym, and then I work out with my girlfriend for 2 of the other days. So I only... but it's straight up cardio. So I'm doing lifting 4 days a week, and I'm doing cardio 2 days a week. So I'm working out 6 days a week, but those cardio, they're definitely not nearly as hellacious. All right, I'm gonna go get a bottle of water. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I got some water. I usually do 30 minutes of cardio every workout session. I run 10 minutes before I start. I'm supposed to be running Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. But I've been so tired lately, I can't do it. But I'm gonna try it tomorrow. I just gotta make sure I go to bed at reasonable times. That's another thing. I shoot for 3 miles. That's, yeah, I do a little over a mile on mine. And in the mornings, I'm up to 15 minutes. I'm trying to get my running legs back. It takes a minute. Thank you for the epic unit. Okay, I healed up, right? Please tell me I did. Yes. I never used to be good at running, but I got okay at running for a while. And then I stopped. And then I picked it up again. And then I stopped. Never stop. It hurts so much more when you have to start up again. At one point I was running 6 miles. I just don't think I can get back to that right now. Run on the treadmill. I like running outside though, getting fresh air. I do like getting fresh air. Because I'm inside all the time. Well, yeah, it is. I get that. But I do have some stuff that I could wear. Also, Moopa, welcome back.
Moopa moo!
I can't run outside. I can't breath. Understandable. Moopa, you get to nickname a Pokemon also. Alright, we are 2 levels away from being done with level grinding Pupitar. It's gonna be great. If we can go for an extra level, that'll be less we have to do with Dragonite. So we're just gonna play through the entire Elite Four. We're gonna have to pick a new soundtrack because this one's pretty much done. Alright, how many more Pokemon are left? Ooh, Zaytu leveled up. Nice! Two more. Alright, we'll just fight these two and then I'll run Stream Raiders. Let's see what we're gonna go with. Let's go with... Let's go with Zelda. Do 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 do. We're fighting Volvega now. Ooh, we can one-shot him now. Sweet. That's 1900 experience-ish. Alright, let's say... Wait, do we need to heal at all? Only kind of. Not a whole hell of a lot. Okay. So here's a question. Avocados go bad pretty quick, right? They're green, then they're bright green, then they're dark green, and then they go bad like a couple days after that. If keeping them refrigerated or keeping them cold prolongs how long they're good for, how come no store does that? How come they're always out in the middle of the floor, not in the refrigeration section? I feel like they're throwing away money, you know? They used to keep fresh longer. Oh, did they? Interesting. I didn't know that. Avocados are in the middle of the floor. Yeah, they're like in a... Like at Walmart, right? They're just in a stand next to tomatoes and onions. I don't know. That's just what it is. I don't know if it's a supply chain or it could be. It could be the soil that's used to yeah, it's in the produce section. But like there's parts of the produce section where like the vegetables are out on the shelf, right? And who wants floor avocados? That's the only way they sell them. But like, why not just put them on the why not just make a separate shelf or something? They're out on the floor, you know, like they're in the middle of the floor in the stand, you know, and they're stacked up like a pyramid. They're only ripe when they're purple, right? Dark green going into purple, yeah. Whatever that shade is. Yeah, once the lemon juice... I mean, yes, it does. But how are you still alive? Damn. But, like, throwing them in the fridge also keeps them going longer. It really does. Also, bye, Tiny. Have a great day. Alright, what's next? Oh, yeah. Gerudo Valley. The best Zelda song ever. Maybe if you didn't throw your avocados, they wouldn't... I don't throw them. I feel like Moopa's taking things literal, which is hilarious, but... Yeah, even bananas last longer in the fridge. Not at first, though. Don't put them in the fridge, like, at the very beginning. No, they will go bad. But when they start getting brown spots, throw them in the fridge, and they'll last a couple more days. Moopa, that sounds painful. Pulling an ace. That sounds very painful. We don't want to fight you. Let's go with Zaytu. Well, it sounds like you pulled a muscle. Or let him go brown and make banana bread. Well, I mean, yeah, that is a thing. But if you're trying to be healthy, banana bread's not the way to go. Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. I don't think there's been any Zelda song that has topped this, like, at all. So at least that's the banana bread now. Goodness gracious. You gotta treat yourself. Heck yeah, I love banana bread. You do you. That's the way to do it. Make sure I'm not button mashing too much. Can I have some? I'm starving. Hi, starving. I'm AceofBade. Don't feed the Moopa. Moopa, if you make me emotes, I'll send you food. I'll send you this food. I beat myself more than every day. I'm just giving you a hard time. And didn't get them wet. What? I think I missed something. Oh, I see. Okay, I get it now. That took me a minute. Yeah, don't feed Moopa after midnight and don't get Moopa wet. I have never actually watched Gremlins all the way through. I've only seen parts. Are y'all really surprised I haven't seen a certain movie? The answer should be no. That's a quote. Can we fight? Well, maybe we can. What? You? Craptastic. Get that watch party right now. Or maybe we can watch Gremlins on the next watch party in December. Somebody just gotta add it to the list. Damn it, Confuser. Does it give me heartburn? No, but I haven't had PB&J in forever. You may need to take some medicine for that. You stupid Umbreon. We're gonna try one more time. Thank you. That should kill. You're -4 defense. Thank you. Well, we're swapping up. Yeah, you may want to go take some Tums or something. It's one of the best films to come out of the 80s. Interesting. It's got Christmas themes, so maybe it would be a good December movie to watch. Gremlins? Did you say Zeppelin? I heard Zeppelin. Locating the nearest Zeppelin now. You need cooling. Maybe I'm not fooling. I'm gonna send you back to school, yeah. Oh la la. Wait, were you talking about Zeppelins or Led Zeppelin? Because, I'm thinking Led Zeppelin. A whole lot of moopa. Whole lot of moolah. There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, as she's buying a stairway to heaven. It's a little overrated, but that is definitely my favorite Zeppelin song. Someone at work gave me graham crackers. Too bad you don't have any peanut butter and jelly to go with that. Or s'mores. Damn it. God, Rockslide is terrible with accuracy. It's 90%, but it's... Son of a bitch. Stupid whirlwind. It's the bear crackers. So they're like small, right? Throw them in a bowl. Throw some milk in them and you got cereal. I can only assume that you're a Rush fan. I'm actually not. Their songs got overplayed on the radio and I hated it. I know. If it's not 100% accurate, it's 50% accurate. Thank you, M&J TV, for making that a reality. And I'm pretty sure they're old. Oh, I'm sorry. At least it's something, I guess. I don't know. Come on. First off, don't kill me. But please hit. Thank you. It's like the same 3 songs that got played on the radio over and over. It's just, it got too much for me. Oh. What do you mean, oh? Are you keeping I'm turning this into a Tyranitar. But we are gonna have a Pupitar. I want to name Pupitar. Alright, cool. What do you want to name Pupitar? Puppy! I'm assuming it's supposed to be Pupy. That don't sound right, so we're gonna call it Puppy. Pupy. No. Oh, I don't want to call a Pokemon Poopy. That doesn't sound right. That ain't right. Can't you find a Pupitar? I can, but I don't feel like... Like, honestly, just one pass through the Elite Four and you'll have Larvitar to Pupitar. It won't take that long. It'll take 20 minutes, maybe. Plus, we need money anyway, so it's fine. The Spirited Radio or Closer to the Heart are probably up there for me for Rush songs. Distant Early Warning might be my favorite though. Nice. Doo-doo. Won't take that long, only 5 days. Going from Larvitar to Pupitar, it's one, like, it goes from level 15 to level 30. That's not gonna take that long. Dragon Air to Dragonite's gonna take about as long as this, maybe longer, because there's really no good moves for Dragonite at all. Poopotar or Pooputar. Oh my god, I hate y'all. That's what I want to. Fine. Get to pick. That doesn't mean I don't hate y'all for that. And the sad thing, it's not even just for this game, it's for all of the games going forward. I think we already have enough of those, JP. Alright, we're gonna keep going with Pupitar. This one has Blizzard, so I can't leave this out. You love the mods, Ace, don't lie. Uh-huh. Quagsure, get in here. Get some sweet potato. Hot diggity dog. There's a Glalie in chat if anyone wants to try and catch it. Damn, 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 damn. Alright, that's the last Ocarina song. Poke check. I like this cover. This is a really nice cover of Lon Lon Ranch. Oh, I'm faster than Dragonite now? Still can't kill, but that's kind of fun to know. Sucks to suck, bitch. I doubt I'm faster than the level 50, though. Oh, Charizard. Easy. GG, baby. That's fine, just don't burn. Actually, it doesn't matter. We found that out last time. Also, thank you for the epic unit, and congrats, Lucas, on catching the Glalie. Alright, so this one has Outrage. Going to jump left and heal up Quagsure. Or just put it to sleep. Nah. Haha. Beesh. Thought I was out of potions for a second. Oh, it's over now. Look at that, we're the champions! We're the champs! Quagsire used to exist. Alright, we're the champ for the like umpteenth time. I lost count. 5, 10, 20, 30, I don't know. Quagsire move misses. Ah, it would suck. I'm gonna walk Athena in the rain. Best of luck. It's cold. I got the heater on now. It's like 42 degrees right now. For those who don't speak American temperature, that's like 4 or 5 Celsius. Just talking to people from other countries, I've kind of just started kind of figuring out what temperature is where. Alright, we got that one. I want to see how much more experience Pupitar needs. Because honestly, if it's just a little bit, I might just go and level it up just a little bit at Mount Silver. It just depends. That way I don't waste the rare candy for no reason. 1400, that's easy. We got that. That's like 3 battles up here. Give me Fire Horse, the 3-headed bird. Not Spaghetti Man. Spaghetti Man bad. Bad for Pupitar. Alright, where is that list? God damn it, Pupitar. Did you just assume Spaghetti's gender? What about Mr. Mime? Mr. Mime can be male or female, so what's your argument now? You got nothing. The person who designed Mr. Mime or named Mr. Mime actually was like, what if y'all end up doing genders later on in the future? And they're like, nah, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna be a thing. 4 years later. And they were stuck with it ever since. They are, yeah, I was about to say, they could straight up make it a male species because Chansey is all female if I remember right. Alright, 53, there we go. Do 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 do. That's not where I wanted to go. I wanted to go to the Pokemon Center. Why I went here, I don't know. I gotta go to Goldenrod anyway. I think I'm just gonna work on getting Blissey today. That's the plan. Okay. Let's go over to Goldenrod. Let's pull out 2 rare candies. Oh, I need to go here. This one. Okay, so that means I only have to get Dragonair to level 50. So that's going to be way more beneficial. Here we go. What? Pupitar is evolving. I don't think he gets Earthquake at 55, which is sad. Cool. Alright, so now we have a Tyranitar. 201. Sweet! Oh, we probably have to deposit somebody if I have to guess. What box are we in? Okay, good. We're gonna box Jump Off and T-Tar, but I gotta take up the EXP share. Okay. All that hard work and we're just shoving it in a box anyway. That is not a good looking sprite, like at all. And it's a damn shame they don't have anybody in the game use it. It really is. Do I have the coin case? I do. Okay, good. Tyranitar sprite, it just doesn't look good. Alright, who's the person I need to talk to? Okay, not you. Is it in the... maybe it's in, Celadon. Something's in my throat. I don't know. Drink water. Fine. Honestly, surprised nobody has called on this game today. I've gotten 0 phone calls. Maybe that's because I keep going through the Elite Four and that's it. I'm gonna guess it's this. Yeah, you can buy a Larvitar if you didn't know. 55.55. Need some coins. Thank God you can do it like this. We're playing this last. Nah. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna have to do it one at a time though. Oops. I went too far down. It's 55.55. Cheat. We ain't got that kind of time, Moopa. Might as well just do this. Shoot. Okay. I don't have that kind of time to rack up well over 11,000 coins. I would like a Porygon, please. Yay! Tony! How's it going, buddy? Nobody claimed Porygon or Porygon 2, right? No, and... no. Okay. There's also a Sandshrew in chat if anybody wants to try and catch it. Just waiting to head to the airport. Are you with Mastiff or... I forget if both of y'all went together or not. Yeah, we're out here in Vegas. Did you win any money? Mastiff said he didn't. Or maybe he lied to us. I don't know. All right, we got all the ones that we got. I lost a lot. I'm sorry to hear that. Can I have some monies? Maybe Friday. Yes. All right, Porygon is number 202. Friday was a blur. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. All right, so let's go. Too drunk or not drunk enough? Yes. The answer is yes. Nice, Vicky. You got the Sandshrew. Very cool. Very cool. I see a Sabbath trying to get my food. Okay, so we got that. We need to see what Chansey is at. Let's fight a Peloton. Saturday and Sunday were very chill though. Nice. I guess we'll put it right here. The Villaggio water show was awesome. Interesting. I didn't know they had one. I got no idea what Pokemon I evolved and haven't put on the list. I'm very confused. I guess we'll figure it out. Oh, I haven't added Pupitar yet, right? That's right. Okay, we need to see how much money we have. Because we're gonna reset the time.
Woo to you, yes, woo to you.
Y'all planned that. I know you did. Both of you planned that. Why? We didn't. Uh-huh. Well, thank you so much for the resub of 24 months. It's been 2 years, dude. Can you believe it? That's crazy. Well, due to the fact that it is pretty much the end of stream, I think we'll do a giveaway tomorrow. We'll save it for tomorrow. I think that would be a little easier. I'll do the thing in a second. I want to get the calculator up. Pokemon Crystal time, change time. Clock. I want to change clock. Yes. Don't be like Manifest. What? $32597. Okay. Oh, I gotta save. I should probably save. That would be smart. Mastiff knows. See y'all in 5 years. See y'all in 5 years. See y'all in 5 years. Bye. Bye, guys. Oh, well. Didn't plan that. Uh-huh. Sure, sure. Yes. Password okay. Pagarino, baby! I'm gonna set it for Tuesday at 3 something. There we go. It's all connected. I don't know what's going on. What is this from? Why? I didn't. Got a little carried away. Chancy. Anyone else hearing an echo? Good question. Is anybody else hearing an echo? I'm assuming you're talking about Mastiff and Tony and not my stream. Because I didn't change any settings, I swear. Yeesh. Okay. Just making sure. Hello, Danny. Come play with us. Forever and ever and ever. Seeing double but not hearing this echo you speak of. Have y'all ever seen Tony and Mastiff in the same room together? I think they might be the same person, because I've never seen them in the same room together. Nope. See? I came to a full stop in the street when some girls were dressed as those twins and walking in perfect line. Somebody was I was walking to somebody's house. I think it was JP's old house in high school, and we were walking to his house from the store. It was like on Halloween. Some dude was just standing underneath a street light, and he was just looking at us with a mask on. I'm like, so this is when we get murdered, huh? All right, cool. I've never seen me and Mastiff in the same room. Understandable. Phone's running low on power, so I need to go. Much love, Ace. See you next time. Bye, Mastiff! A little happier, we got 1 point. That also means... Yep, that's exactly what that means. Ooh, thank you for the epic unit. Yes. Bye, everyone. Bye, Moops. Oh, nice. Did I do the thing right? I get the feeling it really trusts you. Okay, that's a good sign. Let's go take a crack at this. Or what I could do. We could reset it a couple more times. Actually, I should not be in here. I gotta exit. Okay, the amount of money I have right now should have gone down by 500, so it should be 32.09 cents. What? What did I messed up somewhere. There we go. Oh, okay, I see now. I thought I messed up, but I did not. I just want to make sure I only have to level it up once. So I'm gonna make sure we get some more happiness points on Chansey. I don't want to keep doing this. Yes. Do 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 do. Yes, it is Wednesday. It is Wednesday, my dudes. Do 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 do. It was the younger brother. Good. Can we get the good message, please? Ah. We did not. I could reset it and try again. I need you to give me the good message. I want +5 happiness points, bro. Or 10. I don't know. I don't know how many I get. Make it look cool. Alright, what you got? Okay, I'm not gonna keep resetting. It's not... I don't think it's worth. Alright, let's go back to Kanto one more time. That's the casino. We'll go talk to Blue's sister one more time, get a little more happiness, and then we'll try and see if we're at least 220. Blissey's probably the last thing I'm gonna do today, though. And then we'll raid out afterwards. I mean, we'll finish Stream Raiders out, but... Yes. Oh, not that one. That one. No, you did not. You did not hear that at all, Moopa. Did I hear a stream from Moopa coming this weekend? Oh, music ended. I can't do Kingdom Hearts because, you know, the actual songs are in there. Let's do... Well, Pokemon comes out. It does. It does. And I'm picking it up Friday. And we'll be playing it Sunday. I am so looking forward to it. I'm really hoping I get it on Friday. Did you pre-order it at least? Also, which one are you getting? Are you getting Scarlet Violet or the dual pack? Do 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 do. For the double pack on Poke Center. Oh. Yeah, I just went to GameStop. I went up to GameStop and just pre-ordered it there. That way I can just go and pick it up immediately. Also, thank you for the Epic Unit. Sometimes they ship out, though. I mean, you'll know pretty quick if you get an email that says, hey, your order shipped, if it gets there on Wednesday. Might go to the store Friday and just get another one, or what? I mean, don't do it just for the sake of content. I don't think the game's gonna be that good. And return the Poke Center one. That's a possibility, yeah. Nah, I'm doing it just so I can play it. I should save before I continue to do this. That would be a smart call. There's a Delcatty in chat if anybody wants to try and catch it. Give. There you go. Okay. Let's give this a shot. Spaghetti. Mom spaghetti. Arms are heavy. Knees weak, arms spaghetti, the ramen sweater spaghetti, mom spaghetti. Ooh, level 59, baby! Alright, let's see. Yes! We got a Blissey, baby! Finally! Alright, so now we need to go back to Goldenrod. Aw, that little butt wiggle. Yeah, Moopa's all about the butt wiggle. Hold on. Ooh, thank you for the epic unit. Gib. Thank you. Alright, change box. I think what I need to go to box 9. I think. Oh, more epic units. Yay! Thank you for the epic units. Alright, let's see where you at. You're in this box, right? Apparently not. I was wrong. Well, now I have to go look it up. Desktop. Pokemon Crystal PC. Plus side, Gen 3 onwards, we do not have to do an Excel spreadsheet to find out where my Pokemon are. Box 7. I knew it was an odd number. It does not really matter which one we do at this point. I'm gonna take this one. Deposit the Blissey. Just gonna heal up. We're gonna do one quick pass through on the Elite Four. Get a Pupitar, and then we'll be done for the day. I need to mark off Blissey. So Blissey is 203. Also, the reason I went to Goldenrod specifically is because I'm gonna go nickname this Pokemon. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Goodness gracious. Alright, so yes, tomorrow we will be doing a giveaway. It'll be for a set of stickers, a Pokemon card, or if you play the TCG online, it'll be for one of the code cards for that. Alright, so we need to go Saffron. Bike, please. Thank you. Yeah, we're this way. Damn it, Mastiff, I forgot. He gets to nickname a Pokemon too. And he's gone now. I get so caught up in talking to people, I forget. Alright, so we need to pull Jump Bluff just in case. We think of the epic unit. So tomorrow what we're gonna do, we're gonna start with catching a bunch of just random Pokemon on the first route. We're gonna take Dratini through the Elite Four about 7 times, I'm just gonna guess. And then that'll be it. Like we're done with this file, and everything else will have to be traded over. Okay. Alright, first things first. We need you up front. Switch. Alright, let's do these. I forgot about the rival fight. Apparently the rival fight happens more than I thought. Maybe it's a certain time of day. Maybe that's it. Alright, go Typhlosion. Thank you for the epic unit. So many epic units. Alright, 14 more levels to go. It's gonna go for Surf, we know that. But seeing as how Jump Up didn't do well against him the last time, I'm just gonna start with Typhlosion. Heck yeah, baby! Also, we get straight up 10,000 just for doing this fight, so that's nice. Don't do it. Rude. Heck yeah, we got this. One of these is Alakazam, one of them's Gengar. I think. I could be wrong on that. Shadow Ball's gonna hurt. But Psychic's gonna hurt more, baby. Well, we have a lot of units in Stream Raiders. I think we're gonna win. Alright, Alakazam, last one. I think this is the surfing music, which I haven't exactly experienced because I haven't played Gen 5 in a while. I don't know. We'll go Quagsire, sure. Earthquake will finish it off. You know what? Change of plans. Because that fight took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to. We're going to save Pupitar for tomorrow. I'm going to heal up. That's what we're going to do. We'll start with Pupitar, or Larvitar going into Pupitar. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it. We'll save it for tomorrow. We'll do Dratini to Dragonite or Dragonite. And then we'll go catch a bunch of Pokemon. Say its name. No. Alright, so I want to thank everybody for being here. It's been an amazing stream. Had a lot of fun. Thank you for all the biddies and the subs that we got today. Y'all have a great day. And I will see y'all later. Bye, guys.